I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, sorry, did you say you could hear me? Oh. Blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you had in mind, but I mean, yeah, I can do that probably. I don't know. I did grab some cans in case you wanted me to fill them. So look at this little guy. No, this is just the K. This is the chode. So yeah, I mean, you can see even on these, it's yeah. So I got some shorties. Pretty much when I told my old investor that didn't invest or didn't purchase the company to, or a portion of the company to go away. 'Cause, I'm actually working with APGI, which Joe owns a portion of. So DiBiasio. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, they're consulting with me and basically just running pretty much everything that I don't want to or can't or don't have time for and can, uh, so yeah, it's good. Good. You oh okay. Gotcha. Nice, man. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool though. Yeah, you don't have to do it. That's awesome. Yeah. I can't believe, yeah, man, made to order is just nuts. Yeah. Sure. Um, I don't know. I mean, let's try to end it whenever it's kind of let's try to keep it within about 20 minutes. I still got a ton of crap to do tonight, so um, but yeah, you can just kind of shove me off. All right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Liberty Denied. I am Brian Piotr, and I'm here to take you on a wild ride with one of my best friends, and an entrepreneur, and a libertarian, and a God-fearing man and father. His name is Mario Ricci, and he has gone off on the deep end to start one of the best things that anyone could ever try to start, which is a gun-related company. So, without further ado, let me bring him in here and give him a chance to give his own introduction. Hi, Mario. How are you? Who are you?
Oh, hey Brian. Thanks for the intro. So I'm a guy. Brian and I met doing some LP stuff, Libertarian Party stuff, and yeah, I don't know. Do you want me to jump just right into the business side of things, Brian, or
So I
what were you
know
thinking?
I know we got to get to where you are owning a suppressor company that makes and sells suppressors, and we want to hear about that. But how did we get from uh, a job one day to starting your own suppressor company?
Oh yeah. Well, so that's a story. So let's see. I've always been kind of a nerd, and did decades of programming. And I think around what was it 2000? Was it 2008, 2010? Printing was starting to get to be like kind of a thing. I mean, I think it was invented in the 80s, but plastic printers started coming out, and they were pretty crappy. Uh, didn't work very well, but it was you were starting to see it, and I think around somewhere around 2012, and maybe you remember, but the Liberator came out, and the Liberator was like a 3D printed, plastic 3D printed um, 22 long rifle pistol where everything was printed except for like I think the firing pin, and maybe that's it, or maybe there was a couple bolts. I don't remember. And the firing pin I think was a nail. So that was like wow, things are starting to get a little serious. And then I think around 2014, uh, you basically had a bunch of metal printing hit the news. And like if you guys are nerds and you follow Wired or Popular Mechanics, or I don't know, pick one of those hype things. You soon realize that like 99% of the stuff just never makes it to market, and it's pretty much yeah. I don't even know what those things are for. Like basically just get funding or anyway. Um, but this one, like metal printing, made it to the market. So and it started being used. So I remember watching on YouTube. Um, I don't remember who it was, but it was basically in 1911. Some guy printed an entire 1911, and the only thing he didn't do was like the springs. I think like he printed the barrel and everything, and so they put it in a they put it in a vise, fired a few shots, and then the guy basically ran through 500 rounds at the range with it in his hand. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is cool. And then NASA and SpaceX started to use it, and it exploded aerospace and nuclear and everything, right? So I think around 2016 or 2017, um, and I don't know. I think it was DARPA and whatever lab is in New Mexico, maybe. Anyway,
Los Alamos National Laboratory.
yeah,
I
I
went
think
to
it
New
was.
Mexico State, so
Okay, there you go, there you go.
I had
Right
professors
on,
that had
yeah.
worked there.
Yeah, so they I think DARPA and them partnered because they had just gotten like a metal 3D printer. And they were still, I mean, aerospace, if you have $100 million, cool. But this was kind of a cool thing that I saw. And so anyway, they partnered and made a flow style suppressor. And I was, maybe well, maybe not needless to say, but like my parents never let me have toy guns when I was growing up. So
So,
18 first
s-
rifle, 21 first pistol. I was
how did you get to that point that you wanted your guns as soon as you turned 18, if you weren't allowed to have them?
well,
Is it
don't
just to rebel, right? Like you were told
yeah,
no, and so
mostly.
therefore I want it?
Yeah, basically. I'm a pretty basic guy, I guess, when it comes to some things. Um, so yeah, really into guns. So had guns for a while, and then I think in the mid 2000s or so, um, suppressors weren't a big thing, but I discovered them somehow. And the first time I shot one, I was like blown away. And I was like, oh man, this is what I've been missing. This is crazy. It's so much nicer. Because even with Ear Pro on, it's just, you don't get the shock. Your body doesn't get the shock. Your buddies don't get the shock. It's just, I don't know. It's so much better. The recoil's better. It's just a more pleasant experience. So, and especially if you're shooting without ears. So anyway, so yeah, I got a gun trust, and I think the first year I had a gun trust. Gun trusts have a Schedule A, and there's like, I don't know, 10 or 15 spots on it. I think I filled up all those spots the first year I had the gun trust, or something like that.
So I'm guessing you were single when this happened.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, free money to spend on toys.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was racing M3s around the racetrack, and living life. So anyway, so I love suppressors. So I think it was kind of back to the story. It was, I think, around 2016 or so. The 1911 thing happened, and then so the 1911 thing happened, and then like SpaceX and all the other stuff, and then DARPA and Los Alamos partnered into those suppressors, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is cool. And so there was barely any data online about that, but I did find a couple forums where they were saying, oh yeah, this is the manufacturer, these are the guys that are going to make them, blah blah blah. And it was like years of waiting, because and maybe I should go down this road. Traditional suppressor designs are very simple. It's literally just a stack of cones, right, in a tube. And they impart a lot of back pressure on the rifle. So even though it's way nicer to shoot, the old school designs, 120-year-old design, puts a ton of back pressure. And if you're shooting a semi-auto system, like a host gun, it will foul it. It will make it, this gas system is basically made for a certain length, and now you just lengthen the barrel. So you've screwed everything up. Everything gets dirty. You have malfunctions. And so this flow style, basically where you throw all the flow into a bunch of different channels instead of just making a really high pressure can, was super cool to me. So I wanted to buy one. Also, plastic printing started really taking off. So I got a plastic printer, and started fooling around with that. And plastic printing is like super cool for making prototypes. And even prototype suppressors, you can pick it up, you can feel it, you can see how big it is versus, what you thought was on the screen. But anyway, I wasn't doing that yet. So I think around 2018 or 2019, I was really interested in getting new suppressors, and I didn't really want to buy any old school style suppressors, and nobody was making them. So 2019, I kind of started fooling around with the thought of maybe making my own company. I was still doing software development, and great money, and it was fun. But I believe February 2020, I actually registered everything, because at that point I had started reading all sorts of, I'm not going to tell you what kind of scientific papers. I don't want to give all my secrets away, but started reading a bunch of papers, looking into CFD, computational fluid dynamics, started really getting interested and going, basically just looking at the current state of suppressors, going, nobody's iterating. They're basically taking, $5 to $35 worth of but metal materials, machine time, all that, and putting it in a box and shipping it out, and they're charging, 1,000 or 1,500 bucks for it. So it was like, I just wanted something better. So I figured, why not do it myself? So, yep. Yeah, man, it was. Well, and like, actually, I don't think things got bad until, yeah, man. Yeah, sucks. I should have. I mean, I can go. You want me to? Hold on, I'm gonna grab something real quick. So, yeah, I mean, I started out just doing like small plastic models, just to kind of you know, see what I could do and see if I could feel them in my hand, and look at all the stuff that could be. Um, but actually, maybe I should take a pause and just, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much how I got started. So I think, um, I don't know. Was that a good? Is that what you were looking for, Brian? At first it wasn't so bad because I was still working full time doing software development, and spending 5 or 10 or 20 grand here or there wasn't. I mean, it's insane for most people to think about, but if you're I was fairly responsible with my money, and I was making good money. So just, oh my gosh, a prototype is 3,500 or $5,000. Oh, I'll do one. We'll see how it works. Um, and then iterating on that, quite a few times. It was a little scary, but it wasn't that big of a deal. So, at that point I was already married, and we had one kid and another one on the way. So my time was starting to maybe go down a little, but still had quite a bit of time because the kids were young. Um, and yeah, it wasn't that scary. It was much more scary when, after I had done quite a few prototypes and things were getting actually serious, with the business, that I I found out the ATF had changed regulations, and I basically, had almost no option other than to print my own suppressors. And for those of you that don't know, probably most of you, metal printers are very expensive. Most of them require a ton of room, a ton of floor space, rebar reinforced floors, phase three power, argon. It's not something, like I have a plastic printer or two in my basement. You can set that up in a couple minutes to a couple hours, depending on what you buy, and print and have something in a few minutes to a day. Like most of the biggest prints anybody ever does is like a day or two. Um, Metal printing is insane because, yeah, you're talking about, you know basically millions of dollars worth of printer and infrastructure.
So what
So
time
that's
that was, what, a year in or 2 years in? When did you make the jump?
um so I think that was around 2022 is when the ATF changed their regulations, saying that not anybody can just print these. You only need an FFL, and the only three companies that I could work with wanted basically, but like one of them wouldn't talk to me, and a couple of them wanted, over $1,000 per part, and $1 million plus contracts. And so it was like, I can buy a printer. If
And this
you want a
is
$1.5 million contract, I can buy a printer
and
for pretty much that.
yeah, this is the Biden ATF. So not pleasant organization, right?
Yeah.
Not friendly. They were, I heard, taking people's license away for typos, all sorts of
Oh
negative
yeah, I mean,
things.
if you had a checkbox not checked or something misspelled, you could get your and many did. You could get your license revoked if they found that issue. And it was actually a similar thing happened during Clinton, where they got rid of like 50 to 75% of all FFLs or something. Don't quote me on the number, but it was very large. Um, so I think they were trying to do kind of the same thing. Same thing with that. So yeah, that was scary. And so basically looked at scraping together some money, leasing a building and going from there. So that was really that was really scary. Um,
Yeah, I bet. And how has it been going? You made it through all of the Biden administration, and
oh yeah.
we're now 1 week into a new world order, which is no tax stamps. Still have
Yeah.
to file for some stupid reason to protect your hearing, but you don't have to pay $200 for the first time in what 100 years? Maybe not quite. It was like 1930
Yeah,
something.
what was it? 1934, I believe, was the GCA, the Gun Control Act,
So
where they,
my grandfather never got to do it. That's how long it's been.
yeah, yeah. So like, it was it Hiram Maxim, created suppressors. He also created the automobile muffler, and so he was basically just an engineer solving problems. He wanted guns to be quieter and cars to be quieter. So, and yeah, you could order suppressors, like, you go get them at the corner store, order them in the mail or whatever, until 1934. And then some genius thought they'd put in suppressors, into the Gun Control Act and basically killed them overnight, which maybe,
Yeah,
I,
because
I like to say,
$200 back in 1934 was like a house. I don't know,
yeah,
a
oh yeah,
car.
it definitely was. I mean, I think the equivalent was something like $4,300 or $4,500 or something like that in current money.
Mhm.
And yeah, you could buy houses. Like you could get Sears houses for something like 2 to 7 grand back in the day, and just have them show up and build them. Um, maybe not in 1908, but maybe in the 20s or 30s. I don't know. Not entirely sure, but yeah, it was a ton of money that basically uh, killed suppressors overnight. So I like to say, like, maybe one of the only good things about inflation is it made the $200 tax stamp doable after almost 100 years.
Well, the big beautiful bill did nothing big or beautiful except the one thing. It made the $200 tax go away. So I'm very
Yeah,
thankful for that one item. And I
yeah,
wish they
and
didn't have to file anymore. But what's 2026 going to be like?
oh well, we're already seeing a huge things in the past couple months have picked up like crazy. We actually for probably well, no, maybe I guess it depends on what industry you're talking about. Suppressors were pretty bad. We were pretty bad for quite a few months there. All of last year, there was really and there was no panic buying. Unfortunately, the gun industry kind of runs on like fear, and so there's these wild swings, probably worse than any other industry that I know of anyway, of buying. And so there was just no fear being pumped, and so I think we had the least amount of NICS checks. I forget what NICS stands for, but National whatever criminal. Um, but it's basically the background check system, the federal background check system, and we had the least amount of NICS checks since for like 6 or 8 years or something like that. So it was really, um, yeah, just gun buying down, suppressors down, everything down. But man, in the past 2 or 3 months, things have really been kicking up, because people realize that they may have to wait 6 or 8 or 9 months or whatever. If they wait till January 1st and the tax stamp goes to zero because everybody was going to be submitting for their free tax stamp. And so some of the numbers that I've heard from people in the know are 350,000 suppressor transfers went through on, I don't know if it was the first day you could do it in January. I don't know if that was the first or not. But
That's
what I
pretty
also
incredible.
heard, Yeah, well, what I also heard was only that the system was crashing so hard. And by the way, they made a new system for this, or like made a new back end and redeployed over like the week or two after Christmas. So this is the new system that's crashing. What I heard was only 5% of that first day that you could do the transfers, only 5% of them went through. So if that's true, we have some, and this is kind of what we've been seeing from all our shops and from online and everything. Like people are things are really picking up. So yeah,
And
I think
yeah, I feel like we don't know the future. Like this might be a window, just like the gun industry has had before. Democrats could come in and make those mandatory wait times 9 months. For all we know, like things could change in the future. They seem to not like suppressors because of movies or something. So,
yeah, I mean, I think the people that don't like suppressors have just never been shooting. Because like honestly, you wouldn't drive around without a muffler. And
mhm.
if you got a gun, and about suppressors, you probably wouldn't want to shoot without one. It's such a better experience. But yeah, you're totally right. I mean, um, there's one. So this is interesting because on one hand, I don't really want suppressors be an NFA item. It's silly. It should be like buying a hand grip or a guard, a rail or I don't know, a flash hider, whatever.
Or like a lower,
Um,
or like anything, right?
well,
It's
sure. I mean, at a certain point, all gun control is unconstitutional. But we work with what we got for now. So yeah, I'd love to see everything repealed. But the a lot of people had a problem um, with the last minute change, and I don't know if you or your viewers know, but basically what happened was they were going to remove suppressors from the NFA, and it was basically the Hearing Protection Act rolled into there, but they didn't, I believe, and don't quote me on this either, but I think it was Section 3 that was left out. And Section 3 of the Hearing Protection Act, I believe, got around some of the issues of states. So basically, it's legal. Suppressors are legal currently in 42 states in the U.S. Um, if they came off, if they ceased becoming an NFA item, what was going to happen was up to 17 or 18 states could actually see them be turned illegal overnight because they now were not a registered item, this this tax status item. So that might have been like a good thing. I actually don't know how that would have turned out. And even some of the lawyers I talked to, they were like, we don't know. This is our best guess, and gave a bunch of examples. So worst case scenario, on the BBB would have been it stayed the same. Section 3 didn't go in, it was passed, and then 17 states would lose access to suppressors overnight. I don't know if that was realistic. I'm not a lawyer, but that would have been the worst case scenario. So, if you're looking for the silver lining in the BBB where it just went down to $0 instead of $200, there's your silver lining because they're protected still.
so
But hopefully in the next, hopefully in the next year or two, we'll see. Man, I really hope this one lawsuit goes through and we win it because, basically the tax stamp was a hack, right? The government couldn't ban suppressors, ban an accessory, so they just, oh gosh, Brian, help me out here. What's the
Congress has the right to tax things, and so if they
yep?
taxed it, it's
What's
legal. But if you tax it at $0, is it still a tax? And then does it lose its
uh
legality?
interstate commerce clause is what I was looking for. So yeah, the most abused, maybe the most abused thing in the U.S. legal system ever, interstate commerce clause. They said, oh well, we have the right to tax anything, and then well, we can just charge you whatever and wait 3 or 6 or 15 months or whatever, and then you can have your product. So yeah, it was a total hack. But last year on the 4th of July, I don't, and forgive me, guys. It was either I believe it was either FBC or GOA, but they on the 4th of July they called all their um, both of which I believe are great organizations, by the way. But they called all their lawyers and said, "You're not having a 4th of July yet. We're submitting a lawsuit." And the lawsuit's basically like you can't have a tax stamp on an item that has a $0 tax. It defeats the purpose. So hopefully, in the next year or 2 or 3, we'll see some serious loosening of restrictions. Also hopefully combined with not losing access
Well,
in 17 or 18 states to suppressors.
let's talk about what you actually make and have available in 2026. As the CEO, what are you like Elon? You call yourself the lead engineer, lead product, liar. I mean, creative marketing guy. Like what is it you do, Mario?
I do a little bit of everything. So yeah.
Do you have any
But yeah,
product? Do you have any
I mean,
products to
basically,
show us? Like what's your top seller? What's new?
yes. So yeah, I actually did throw a few things on my desk. So I'm happy to. We have a incredible full product line at this point. Started out with just one model of suppressor in 3 different calibers, and after I believe 6 or 8 months, kind of made a Gen 2 of that, and that's the Ventus. I got that right here. I don't know if you can see that.
Hold it, just yeah, there you go. I got you in the screen right there.
So yeah, I mean, this is one of our demo cans. I was actually out shooting it 2 days ago. You probably can't see that, but this is probably our best seller so far. It's a really good can. Flow style, basically no measurable back pressure, incredible sound, and full auto rated, belt fed rated, 14.7 ounces. It's a really nice. It's kind of a standard size, so it's 6.5 inches long. And yeah, everybody that shoots it is kind of blown away at how nice it is.
What's it made out of?
So as you probably, maybe I didn't say it specifically, but it's an additive manufactured proprietary Inconel. So normal Inconel is incredibly robust. It's really good for high temps, which is why it's used in like aerospace and nuclear. It's really good for corrosion, which is why it's used in marine. But our proprietary is even stronger than normal Inconel. And so like you might, if you're familiar with suppressors, you may have seen like reductive, classic manufactured designs, and suppressors have like 1 or 2 baffles, like the first 1 or 2 baffles have Inconel, and but it's so hard to machine, and it's so durable, and it's so expensive, and that nobody does more than like really 1 or 2 in the reductive world. So yeah, we worked with some material scientists from mines and a local company here, as well as some other folks I knew, and came up with kind of the best material being for suppressors being this proprietary Inconel, and it maintains, oh gosh, am I going to get this wrong, 67 or 76% strength at 1500 Fahrenheit. So most metals, like if you look at stainless, I think it's like less than 10% of strength remains, like tensile strength, at that temperature. So it's a really, really good material, and it's incredibly durable. The failure for this material, instead of like shattering, is it can go 50 to 60% elongation in the XY direction, and up to 100% in the Z. So basically it just balloons. So if it is going to fail, the failure is just excellent. It's probably the least dangerous material also to use for suppressors that you could ask for.
Is your whole line made out of that material?
Yeah, we are only doing that right now because we want everything currently to be full auto rated, belt fed rated, and all that. So we have rifle cans, we have pistol cans, everything's full auto rated. And then I'll show you. Oh,
and it doesn't matter if I put it on my 22 long rifle, like it still works fine, right?
It does, and actually, I mean, 22 long rifle is dirty, so you gotta, if you shoot 1,000 rounds to that, you gotta worry about cleaning these. Cleaning's a cinch. You can basically just soak for 8 hours or a day or two, drain, blow it out, and shoot it out. So, which is, if you look at most, I mean, when I started this, nobody was doing 3D printed suppressors, and everybody thought it was crazy. Now everybody's going to it, and I would imagine. Um, 80% of the industry is going to be additive manufactured in 5 years, because I mean you'll never get rid of reductive manufacturing just because it's so cheap. I mean, you can go look up
Well,
dudes are doing, what's that?
now I can make a 3D printed one and write a form, whatever, and
Well,
if
so you
it
can do
blows up, it
plastic ones.
blows up.
Yeah, you can do plastic ones for free, and those last a couple hundred rounds at least, which is super cool. I mean, heck, if you have a plastic printer, go on Odyssey and look up the FTN. Do a form. Oops, we're losing light here. Go. I believe it's a Form 1 on eForms. I don't know. I'm just really into
Yeah, that's not
the
your game. That's
manufacturing
not your
side
game.
that yeah that citizens don't have access to. But I believe it's a Form 1. Free tax stamp, and then you can print your own suppressor and shoot a few rounds out of it, out of plastic. Just be careful. But let's see, where was I going, Brian? Help me
I don't
out.
know. Here, if people are watching and they want to learn more about your suppressors, I know that we're keeping you long.
Oh yeah.
What do they
So
need to know? Where do they need to go? What do you want to tell them?
so let me show you a couple. Let me show you a couple more. So this has been our best suppressor. It's in terms of, I mean, if you want to look at like flow style cans, sound wise, we're looking at the best sound. We went to Silencer Summit this past year, and if you compare our flow style to everybody else's, we're beating them by at least a few decibels. And then we're beating them on. We can also beat them on length and weight as well. So this is basically the Ventus K. So this is 4.7 inches instead of 6.5. Shaved off almost 2 ounces as well. So this is an incredibly compact can with really unbelievable sound suppression. It's a bit louder than the long Ventus, but in terms of like its length, we're beating most people by about an inch, and we're beating everybody by usually by about a few decibels when you're comparing flow style cans. And then we have, if you're really going for the shortest possible, this is a 3.5-inch suppressor, which is again just a little bit louder. And you can go on our website, replicatorusa.com, and look at all the ratings for the Silencer Summit, third party tested. So we're not cheating. But you can look at the decibel readings there, and we also have a paper on I believe it's the support section of like how to look at all the numbers in the Silencer Summit page, because man, people are just, it is overwhelming the first time you look at that, and if you don't know what you're looking for, it's almost impossible to decipher. So we have kind of like a distilled version where you can look at some of our competitors and look at us, based on comparisons based on weight and length and sound and all that. So these are probably our three best selling models right now. We do have a really great pistol suppressor as well, and like pistol only, and we're coming out with a 22 here in the next month, specific for 22 long rifle, that is really light and really quiet. So
if you how does it work to buy one? It's not like Amazon, right? Like I go to your website and buy it, and then what? Like you can't send it to me.
Yeah, so really, this is one of the biggest things that people get wrong. Even a lot of gun guys or like police officers that have suppressor, like a lot of guys just don't know how it works. So really, you can buy one today as long as you're in over 21 in one of the 42 states that allow suppressors. And of course, that list is on our website. But so you're more than likely able to buy a suppressor. You buy it today. Once you buy it, it gets shipped to, basically you just gotta choose which dealer you want it to go with near your house, somewhere. And most places, well, all places will do the paperwork. Most places will have some type of automated kiosk to make things easier. So basically, you buy it today, it gets shipped out in a day or 3 or 6, depending on, or longer, depending on how our illustrious ATF is, how fast they're doing their paperwork and everything. But yeah, once we get the approval from them to ship to the store after it's paid, then it gets shipped to your store. You do some paperwork. Over the past year, it's been you wait a few days, and then you get your tax stamp and you throw it on your rifle or your pistol.
Just as easy as that. Just all the paper. Just have some paperwork.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I do have one more that I wanted to show.
That's super awesome. Is that super polished?
Yeah, it's polished. It looks a little like knight in shining armory. And yeah, I mean, this is basically, we did a custom design in here, and I just wanted it to look like armor. So yeah, this is just a Ventus K. But
because you can print pretty fancy designs and do whatever you want, you did, right?
Yep.
Is that for a customer or for you?
Well, that one's for me.
Oh, fantastic.
I did, if you guys know Big Timber Lodge, he got one, I believe last week.
Is he a YouTube reviewer?
He is, yeah. He's a great guy. Lives in the Springs, and so
that's Colorado Springs, right?
Colorado Springs. Sorry for everybody that does not know the Colorado lingo. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate having you on, Mario. And look, the fact that you've been in business now 6 years is absolutely amazing. Most people fail in year one, so congratulations on that being most people. And most people are too afraid to go out and do things and make things. And you're making really, really cool things. It's not like toilet paper, even though we all need it. Or we could choose to use our left hand. There's a whole other side of the world, right? But I really appreciate what you're doing for the world, and I hope that the government doesn't come and ruin your life, and that it just gets better. I hope it gets better for all of us. And I see Quest Fanning just gave us a $5 tip saying Knights Templar. I'm sorry, man. You live in New York. You're gonna have to get one of these at a different address.
Yeah, man. Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy. Okay. Poor guy. Well, Mario, anything you want to say before you go?
No, Brian. Really appreciate it. Thanks for letting me talk a bit. I know we went a little over, but really appreciate just chatting and the exposure. So love what you're doing, and keep talking about liberty.
Thank you, sir. God bless. Happy New Year.
God bless, man. We'll see you.
Oh, look at that. Now I'm talking to a white box. Send me that link, Brian. Boop. I'm looking for a nice button. Here I am back on Brian Solo, looking at my face. ReplicatorUSA.com. Let me see if I can't find it. It's not blocked by Google because they're not complete criminals yet. You know they're criminals. They're criminals. ReplicatorUSA.com. Oh man, all this fancy stuff in the world. This has been a beautiful, beautiful day to be alive. I got some brand new shoes in the store. They are personally designed. Half Revolutionary War flag, half Gadsden flag. Quest Fanning got some. Thank you, Quest. This is Liberty Tonight. Come and join the chat on rumble.com/Liberty Tonight, and I'll be interacting with you guys all evening. There's no plans to stop early, unless I get a coughing fit or something. There's a lot going on in the world outside of suppressor news and everything related to suppressors. Uh, Something happened in Minneapolis today. We started off last week with Somali fraud, and that's what last week's show was about. And unlike other stories, which have a 10-minute news cycle and then disappear, this one grew legs and has grown into other directions. First steps first. Tim Waltz was taken down by that story and has said he's not running for re-election. This is awesome. Nobody's ever been happier. By the way, thanks for the donations. I forgot that I have Jasper Cam going on. Everybody take a moment, look at Jasper Cam. Yay, hi Jasper. He's asleep in the cradle. So here I am. I have Jasper Cam up on the screen. I wish he wasn't black. I should have gotten a white dog, am I right? That would have gone a whole lot further. Man, let me next time we get a donation, I'll go out and give him a treat and wake him up a little bit. Because he's going to sleep early. It's Liberty Tonight, where freedom never sleeps. What is he doing? What is he doing, guys? So, back to Minnesota. I think everybody who might be alive knows that there's giant amounts of fraud as we were invaded by Somalis, and there's probably a bunch of affluent white liberal women who helped them do it all, and it's been a giant RICO conspiracy case. So Tim Waltz drops out of the race. Trump administration stops all payments of all kinds to all over the country, including Minnesota, and we send in the largest amount of ICE officers of anywhere in the nation into Minneapolis to start getting illegals. And then, well, you put men with guns next to... Oh, this doesn't have sound. They're doing a candlelit visual. Where's the video I had of that? Here we go. So this car's driving into a police officer. The police officer pulls out a gun and shoots her, and she dies.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
Can you believe it? You know, Jeremy Clarkson once told me on Top Gear that you can choose to be righteous, but they can still crucify you. I mean, right or wrong. I'm not saying she's right. I'm not saying she's wrong. I think right or wrong, she's dead. So, let that be a lesson to you when a law enforcement officer is telling you to do something and holding a gun at you, that even if it's against your constitutional rights, my advice is to listen, because it doesn't matter if they break your rights if you're dead. It just doesn't matter. And that's what happened to this lady. So we had giant riots. I don't know if, like, riots sounds like LA riots because, the LA team won the Super Bowl or the NBA championship, and so let's go break stuff. And that's not exactly what's going on here. It's like negative a million there. Somehow it turns out everybody had always said hell is hot. It turns out hell is in Minneapolis in the winter, and it's cold as hell, and that's what it is. So we have this mayor speaking English. He's speaking English for once. This is not his normal language. He usually reads Somali.
To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you.
He feels like a guy who's doing Othello in a high school theater room. Like, he doesn't believe any of the words he's saying, but he's practiced them. And he's trying to deliver them theatrically. And he is. Good job. We don't believe you, but you did what you were trying to do. And I did not bring flowers. You said get. You said a dirty word. You said get out of here, Ice. Get out of here. You're hurting my feelings, Ice. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I think we just escalated the situation. We just got the governor kicked out of the office. This is not the end. This is this is just the very very beginning. This is the summer of love. Except it's ICE agents against people who say they hate guns but love to throw bricks. So, without George Soros dropping off pallets full of bricks, what are you guys planning on doing? Okay, you can have a candlelight vigil. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Like, did the lady believe in the afterlife? We find out that she got to go there. I don't want to be non-compassionate, but I'm not super compassionate. I'm sorry that you made a bad decision, lady. I hope other people use your death to learn from your bad decisions.
For ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I want all the illegals out of Minneapolis. I want all the Somalis out of Minneapolis. I want everybody who votes by mail out of Minneapolis. Is that too much to ask? Well, Quest Fanning says the $2 billion fraud had nothing to do with the death. It had very little to do with that lady's decision to kill herself. But Jasper, go into the dog here. Jasper, what do you think? I think that she learned about the FAFO graph.
So first we have to decide how much do we want to find out. So let's say in this case, I want to find out at a level of 7. Okay, so I find that level on my graph and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. That there is going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out. So I hope this lesson is helpful. Thank you.
I think it's a very valuable lesson. Not everyone learns it. And Trump has gotten on Truth Social to say she shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done it. Nope. Bad idea. Bad idea. Nicolas Maduro, I think it's Nicolas, president of Venezuela, has taken a one-way trip to New York City, potentially. I hate you Quakers. You know, like you gave us Quaker Oats and Benjamin Franklin, but you gave us the word penitentiary, and I can't say it, and it's your fault. You know, you said that prisoners should look up to God and then have their souls converted and changed and then be let back out, and that's how American prisons are modeled all around the world. You screwed it up, guys. I think just breaking rocks would have been ideal. But anyways, we have now the president of Venezuela is going to jail on my dime, and I think that's really good for the people of Venezuela. I want to be on record that I think that it's always a moral right thing that a communist gets a free helicopter ride. Every time. People have asked me, would it be okay to do the same thing to XYZ country? And I have put together the whole list. It would work for me for everybody in Europe, every single leader in Europe except for maybe Hungary, including Russia and Turkey, all of Europe. I'm not totally sold on Hungary, but I'll give him he gets to stay because whatever, why not? Let him have one country. South America gets Javier Milei. We can give everybody else a free helicopter ride. Asia gets Japan, which I don't remember her name, but she's great. And I can't argue for another, but let's just assume that if we did it to like Taiwan or Korea, like they'll elect another, whatever, okay person. So generally, yeah, I think free helicopter rides, even if they're not lethal and they take you to New York, are perfectly fine. And Quest Fanny says, I absolutely love the Bad Idea Jeans SNL fake commercial. Best was usually I wear rubber. But then I figured out when's the next time I'm going to be in Haiti. Okay, so let's find out a little bit more backstory on this lady. This lady's got a little bit more behind her.
Out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah, okay. That was her goal. They clearly wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah, that was her goal. They clearly wanted her out of there.
I just gave Jasper a treat real quick because I saw we got some donations. There you go, Jasper. He's a good boy. He's got a bone in there. He's living the best life he can live. And then here's the position of Christy Nome. We can watch Jasper while we listen to her.
You asked about a shooting that we just.
Yeah, I think it's great to have Jasper on the screen while we look at her because of what she did to her dog. Too soon, but I'm not going to do that to you, Jasper.
Had in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our ICE officers were out in enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing to gather more information, but this goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and our law enforcement are under every single day. These vehicle rammings are domestic acts of terrorism. We're working with the Department of Justice to prosecute them as such. We will continue to protect our ICE officers and in cooperation with other law enforcement agencies as well. You've seen me in the last couple of days deploy over 2,000 more officers to the Minneapolis area. And in the last 2 days, we've arrested hundreds and hundreds of dangerous criminals, not just fraudsters who stole from the American people billions of dollars and put it in their pockets and enriched their friends from overseas and themselves, but also individuals who committed acts of murder and rape and trafficking and drug exploitation and child.
Yeah, they're bad people. They're bad people. I'm not fans of them. Now, the reason why you must listen to liberals crying about this, like they're, on the world's smallest violin, is because you have to think back. I'm super old, and I can remember 2021. January 6th. Today's January 7th. So it was almost exactly 5 years ago. And another policeman shot somebody else. Who was that? Let's see. Here's Ashley Babbitt. Officer with a gun holding it at her. Whoops. Decision. Bad decision. Here's me being consistent and saying it doesn't matter if it's wrong for him to shoot you. He's holding a gun at you. Don't do anything. You'll die. And then who cares? Here's me being consistent. I don't think that you'll remember any liberals currently crying for this lady who died today. Whoever said a word about how wrong it was that Ashley Babbitt died. because I believe they called this man a hero. Michael Beard. Oh, and what is this, Michael? The man who shot Ashley Babbitt, the murderer, shot this lady in the neck while wearing a mask. Right or wrong? I don't know. Even if he gets away with it, I'm fine with that. But ooh, he has a daycare, taxpayer funded, in his home with his wife. I think everybody's in on this fraud. I'm over here living off of products and Rumble Rants and working for a living and making a show, and I could have just had a fake government daycare this whole time. Ashley Babbitt, he didn't even need that job. He had a good income. He had a good fraudulent income. He didn't need to kill you. I'm so sorry that that happened to you, lady. So sad, so sad. Okay, man, I am absolutely dying from some kind of flu. Like a Jasper. I can see my oldest sister, my oldest daughter. I really am dying from this flu a little bit. Yeah, Ashley Babbitt didn't deserve to die. And maybe this lady didn't deserve to die either. I wish that neither of them had killed themselves. But there's my daughter playing with her puppy. We traveled the country and went to 50 states. And because I didn't have a home, I sold my home and we were traveling full time. I told him, when we are done traveling and we have a home again, I'll get you a puppy. And so this summer, when we went to our 50th state, we had bought this home in April, but we planned this out, and we went to Alaska and then North Dakota and joined the Best for Last Club. You can look it up, Best for Last North Dakota. And the rule is you just go to North Dakota, Alaska, get a t-shirt. On the way home from North Dakota, a 15-hour drive, we pick up this puppy. His name's Jasper. This is the Jasper Cam. He is a really awesome dog, and I will never Christy hit him. He'll live a nice, long, healthy life, even if like he's not good at getting birds or whatever it is. Man, let me get this. I'm so determined right now to get this whole thing in the picture because I'm so proud of the way these shoes look. Thanks, Quest. You said you got 2 pairs. And thank you for everybody who's watching here on X, on Twitch. Please like and subscribe on the show. I appreciate it. We are live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And these are the kicks to have this year. Half Gadsden flag, half American flag. I have put it up in the background here, because I got both of these flags. I'm too legit to quit. This is my background on X. I'm going full. This is the year 2026's half Revolutionary War flag. This one's actually Second Amendment. It's got the whole Second Amendment written on the white stripes. It's a pretty sweet flag. But these are really awesome shoes. I'm really thankful for everybody who's going to buy them and wear them. And we can talk about where we should go to meet up. Maybe have you over to Louisville in the spring. We can all wear our kicks. This is the tongue here has the circular 13 stripe blue right there, right underneath these Converse. Man, there's some good looking shoes. I was thinking about doing these on running shoes, but they look so nice on Converse. What do you guys think? Would you have them any other way? Quest says his daughter and him have been to 30 states and 4 foreign countries: Canada, banned, Switzerland, England, and Mexico. Yeah, I thought I would have been banned from Canada because of donating to the truckers and all my information getting leaked, but I went last summer and they let me in. Or maybe it was 2 summers ago. No, I went last summer. So yeah, go to the4libertyshop.com. And if you can't buy these, I get it. They're expensive. Life's expensive. There are cheaper things on the list here. There's lots of things to look at on the collections. I have a lot of gear from the Fort Liberty shop, and even just going on here now, nothing's free for me because you still like we obviously don't stock free inventory. The magic inventory tree is just got planted a few years ago. It's not bearing fruit yet, and so the cost to make things is not yet zero. We're working on it. Hopefully, Optimus can help speed it up. But there's so much nice stuff here. Several people of you got some coffee, shoes, t-shirts. I'm all done trying to sell you stuff. This is all you guys. Question. Thanks for the repost. And my nose is like the Niagara Falls. We're talking about Canada. We got Jasper Cam up on the screen for you. I got Niagara Falls coming out of my nose, and I'm sorry for my voice. But I just want you to know I'm very thankful to have each and every one of you. It's going to be a wonderful year. I got baby number 5 due March 1st. So we got several shows to go before that happens. But at this point, I'm also backed up to it's a beautiful woman is at the end of a pregnancy and has 4 other kids to put to sleep. So that's a very difficult task to do without this, I don't have any of that. I feel really bad. I'm sorry. I wish I will do better. Jasper will do better. So this is what I worked on this week. I got Jasper Cam up. I literally just a webcam over with a long wire routed through the wall. Okay, well, this has been Liberty Tonight, where freedom never sleeps. We will be back. I will be back on Wednesday next Wednesday night. And I look forward to meeting you, talking with you. If you find some links that you want to cover on the show, topics, guests, let me know if you liked Mario. Mario's an amazing guy, and he has an amazing company. And if I had more money, I would buy more suppressors. Suppressors aren't cheap, but they're awesome. Not everything's cheap in this world. Those shoes are nice. Suppressors are nice. Cadillacs are nice. Such is life, So we're capitalists here, unashamedly, at the For Liberty Network. What I was going to say is go to theforlibertynetwork.com and join our Discord. I've got a Liberty Tonight section. There's also a general section for everybody on the For Liberty Network. And it is the place to be all week. There's always at least 20 people online. Every time I go on and look, I don't think I've seen the number of online below 20. And there's room for more of you. There's room for you to join too, especially if you're one of those people who lurk on X. I know we get hundreds of impressions sometimes thousands of impressions every week that don't translate to people that I get to meet you and know your face, but I think they could change this evening. So anyways, that's the end of my spiel. It's the end of my voice. It's the end of my energy for the day.